In the quiet geography of rural Illinois, a single motel key emerges as an unexpected artifact of human connection, bridging decades of unspoken family history. Its weathered brass surface carries more than mere metallic texture. It holds the intricate emotional cartography of lives interrupted and narratives suspended. This small object, discovered in a sun-faded truck stop, represents something far more profound than a simple room entry mechanism. It becomes a silent witness to journeys, both physical and emotional, a minimalist conduit through which complex human experiences flow. The key's existence suggests an ongoing dialogue between memory and forgetting, between what is remembered and what has been deliberately obscured. Its cold metallic surface reflects the landscape around it, vast, open, seemingly empty yet deeply layered with unresolved stories. Rural Illinois stretches beyond this moment, its flat horizons mirroring the emotional terrain of unspoken family dynamics. Each microscopic scratch tells a fragment of a narrative that has been waiting, patient and resilient, to be understood. The key is not just an object, but a threshold, a boundary between known and unknown histories, between public facade and private truth. The truck stop where this key was discovered represents more than a geographical waypoint. It is a liminal space, a transitional zone where travelers pause, where stories intersect momentarily before diverging again. Such spaces are repositories of forgotten narratives, collecting fragments of human experience like dust accumulates on forgotten surfaces. This particular truck stop, with its faded linoleum and worn countertops, has witnessed countless such moments, brief encounters, hurried conversations, silent exchanges that carry profound emotional weight. The motel key sits among these accumulated memories, its presence both ordinary and extraordinary. It speaks to the transient nature of human connection, to the way relationships can be simultaneously fragile and incredibly resilient. Truck stops are liminal landscapes where personal boundaries blur, where strangers become temporarily connected through shared space and momentary proximity. This key represents such a moment of connection, suspended between movement and stillness, between revelation and concealment. Brass carries its own memory, its own subtle patina of experience. The key's metallic surface tells a story of oxidation and endurance, of surviving environmental challenges, while maintaining its essential form. Like human memory, metal transforms, but does not entirely disappear. Each microscopic change represents a moment of interaction, a subtle record of exposure and resilience. The key's physical deterioration mirrors the way human relationships weather time, sometimes corroding, sometimes maintaining surprising integrity. Its numbered etching, now partially obscured, suggests a room that once held specific significance, a temporary sanctuary in a landscape of continuous movement. The numbers themselves become a kind of code, a cryptic language representing more than mere room identification. They hint at a larger narrative of displacement, of temporary shelters, of journeys that are more emotional than geographical. The key becomes a metaphorical vessel, carrying not just mechanical potential for entry, but the complex emotional cargo of its previous owners. Family histories are rarely linear, rarely simple. They twist and intersect like rural highways, with unexpected turns and hidden intersections. This motel key represents such complexity, a physical manifestation of connections that extend beyond immediate perception. It suggests relationships that might have been fractured, conversations that remained unfinished, emotions that were stored rather than expressed. The key's presence implies a story of separation and potential reconciliation, of distances both literal and metaphorical. In rural Illinois, where emotional restraint is often a cultural norm, such objects become crucial narrative bridges. They carry the weight of unspoken sentiments, of generational silences that accumulate like sediment. The key is not just a family artifact, but a complex emotional document, recording movements and migrations that official records might never capture. Its brass surface becomes a palimpsest of human experience, layered with subtle inscriptions of loss, hope, and unexpected connection. Truck stops exist in a unique temporal zone, suspended between continuous movement and momentary pause. They are spaces where human narratives briefly converge before dispersing again across vast landscapes. This particular key represents such a moment of convergence, a small metallic object that captures the essence of transcendent human connection. Its discovery suggests that meaningful stories are not always dramatic or immediately apparent. Sometimes they emerge through subtle, almost imperceptible traces. A forgotten key, a partial conversation, a momentary glance. The key's presence in this specific truck stop implies a larger narrative of rural American mobility, of families and individuals constantly negotiating between rootedness and movement. It speaks to a cultural experience of continuous transition, where home is less a fixed location and more a complex emotional landscape. The key becomes a symbol of this ongoing negotiation, representing both stability and potential transformation. Memory operates through fragments, through objects that carry emotional resonance beyond their immediate physical properties. This motel key exemplifies such fragmentary remembrance. Its brass surface becomes a repository of unspoken narratives, of emotions that have been compressed and stored rather than openly expressed. In rural communities, where emotional communication often occurs through subtle gestures and objects rather than direct conversation, such artifacts become crucial communicative tools. The key suggests a story of separation and potential reconnection, of journeys that are as much internal as external. Its metallic presence implies a larger narrative of human resilience, of the capacity to maintain connections even when physical proximity is impossible. Each microscopic detail, a slight bend, a particular oxidation pattern, becomes a potential entry point into understanding complex familial dynamics. The key transforms from a mere mechanical object into a profound emotional document. Geographical landscapes carry emotional memories, just as objects retain traces of human interaction. Rural Illinois, with its expansive horizons and subtle topographical variations, provides a perfect backdrop for understanding how memory operates. This motel key exists within such a landscape, a small, significant object that reflects the broader emotional terrain around it. Its discovery suggests that meaningful narratives are not always dramatic or immediately visible. Sometimes they emerge through subtle, almost imperceptible traces. A forgotten object, a partial conversation, a momentary intersection of lives. The key becomes a metaphorical bridge between different temporal and emotional zones, connecting past and present through its physical persistence. Its brass surface reflects the resilience of human experience, the way connections can survive despite geographical and emotional distances. The key represents a kind of quiet testimony, a silent witness to complex human interactions. Unresolved family narratives often manifest through objects that carry subtle emotional charges. This motel key represents such a manifestation, a physical artifact that suggests larger, more complex stories of separation and potential reconciliation. Its presence implies conversations that were never fully had, emotions that were stored rather than expressed. In rural communities, where direct emotional communication can be challenging, such objects become crucial narrative bridges. The key becomes more than a simple mechanical device. It transforms into a complex emotional document, recording movements and migrations that official records might never capture. Its metallic surface suggests layers of experience, of journeys both literal and metaphorical. Each microscopic detail becomes a potential entry point into understanding intricate familial dynamics, representing the way human connections persist despite apparent discontinuity. Threshold spaces, like truck stops, like motel rooms, represent more than mere geographical locations. They are complex emotional territories where human experiences intersect and diverge. This motel key exists within such a territory, representing the subtle negotiations of human connection. Its brass surface becomes a metaphorical boundary, suggesting passages between known and unknown territories, between revealed and concealed narratives. The key implies journeys that extend beyond physical movement, emotional migrations that are not easily mapped or understood. Its presence in this specific truck stop speaks to larger cultural experiences of mobility, of families and individuals constantly negotiating between rootedness and continuous transition. The key becomes a symbol of this ongoing negotiation, representing both the stability of memory and the potential for unexpected transformation. In the end, this motel key represents something profoundly human: our capacity to maintain connections across time and distance. Its brass surface tells a story of resilience, of emotional landscapes that persist despite apparent discontinuity. Rural Illinois provides the perfect backdrop for such a narrative, its vast horizons mirroring the complex emotional territories we all navigate. The key becomes more than an object. It transforms into a testament of human experience, a silent witness to journeys both external and internal. Its discovery suggests that meaningful stories are not always immediately apparent, that significance often emerges through subtle, almost imperceptible traces. In this quiet truck stop, amid faded linoleum and accumulated memories, a simple motel key becomes a profound narrative bridge, connecting generations through its silent, persistent presence. In the dusty shadows of a forgotten Illinois truck stop, a single brass motel key whispers secrets older than memory. Most people would dismiss it as mere metal, cold, inconsequential. But some objects carry stories more profound than words can capture. The key arrived unexpectedly, tucked inside an old leather wallet discovered during a routine estate clearance. Room 17. Sunset Motel, Route 36. Those three details would become the coordinates of an extraordinary journey into a family's unspoken history. Thomas Reginald Henderson was not a man who believed in coincidences. As a third-generation truck driver, he understood that every road has its own rhythm, every journey its own hidden logic. When his grandmother Eleanor passed away in the winter of 2018, leaving behind a meticulously organized but emotionally cryptic collection of personal effects, he never imagined a simple motel key would unravel decades of familial silence. The key itself was unremarkable, brass, slightly tarnished, with a faded number 17 stamped into its head. Its weight felt significant in Thomas's palm, not from physical mass, but from the unspoken tensions it seemed to carry. The Sunset Motel no longer existed. It had been demolished in the late 1980s, replaced by a generic convenience store that bore no memory of its predecessor. Eleanor's generation was not one to discuss pain openly. They carried their traumas like carefully folded linens, pressed and stored away, never to be displayed. Thomas knew his grandmother had lost her younger brother, Michael, during what family records vaguely described as a work-related incident in 1962. No one had ever provided details, and asking questions was considered disrespectful. Forensic genealogy would become Thomas's unexpected tool. Using a combination of archived motel records, county registration documents, and meticulously preserved family photographs, he began reconstructing a narrative that had been deliberately obscured. Michael Henderson had been a young mechanic. Known for his quiet demeanor, and exceptional skill with automotive engines. Local records showed he frequently traveled along Route 36, servicing trucks and farm equipment across central Illinois. The Sunset Motel was a common,